Acha. My name is Swagat. I am not a techie. I am a filmmaker. I make documentary films. For the last 20 years, I've been working as a filmmaker. And now, for the last 5 years or so, I'm more interested in new media and the possibilities of using multimedia in education along with internet, which is very important for a third world country like ours. Because at the moment, India is the youngest country in the world. If you look in terms of people, some 500 million people are currently under the age of 20. And when you have such a huge number of people at that particular age, what you should automatically think of is education. Because that is what the basis of anybody's life is. And if we don't provide the right kind of education to a guy who is around the age of 15 to 20, good example is Ajmal Kasab. Like, what can happen if you brainwash a guy and tell him to do just about anything, because that guy is open, his mind is open, which is generally the case with most young people. Why I got interested in this thing is also because when I was studying in school and college, there was this very rigid gap. Either you are in arts or you are in science. And there's a huge amount of trauma that people go through. Should I join science or should I join arts? Now I was in science. Then I was not interested really in the class. I used to run off and see movies. Then finally I ended up as a movie maker. And a lot of guys who were in, a lot of my friends, most of them were in science. They were in IIT and tech institutes. A lot of them were interested in music and in filmmaking. And now I find that a lot of these guys have actually developed products which are kind of working in that kind of direction. That interest in music. So you have techies developing a lot of stuff on music, multimedia stuff. Now the point is that actually if you look at knowledge, it is not something which is separate. It is holistic. Everything in the universe is linked together. Like the human body is linked from the top of the head to the toe. Everything is linked together, but we divide it when we study into different parts to understand, talk more in visuals. But because of this problem of, I'll have to go there and show it on a pen drive. I'll show you the pictures later. First I'll finish talking about this very quickly. This is a pen drive. Now this thing did not exist about 5 years ago. This particular pen drive that I have has a planetarium inside it. There's a software called Stellarium. There's another one called Celesta. I've tried both of them out and it's possible to fit and work it from this pen drive. Now if I have this pen drive, if I have a laptop type of thing here, if I have a small camera and a projector, just teacher on a subject. And then I show that through the internet to some guy sitting in a village who is very bright but does not have the money to come to the city. Then he is going to listen to that teacher and get those ideas, because that teacher is the best in his subject. To take that idea further, if you take people who are artists and filmmakers like us, get them together with the teacher. Let the teacher say that what he wants to say. And then we work together and make content for teaching. That is going to be very interesting. Because nowadays the problem is that you are competing with MTV for your mind space. Young people nowadays do not have the kind of patience which people earlier had. So whatever ideas you have to get through to them, you have to do that in something like 5 minutes. Like the YouTube video. 5-10 minutes, beyond that then people start getting bored and distracted, because that is the modern mind. It is too much caught up in too many things. There's too much of information coming in from everywhere. We are living in the middle of a media atmosphere which is like the ozone layer thingy. It's a huge media, because you have a mobile phone in your pocket, you have a camera in your pocket, you have a pen drive, you have everything. All the time there's information coming and going. And the brain has to process this information, it cannot. So, people are getting more and more distracted. So the best way of getting education through is then to do it the way MTV does it. Instead of, boring people with long talks and stuff like that. And once you connect this with social networks, then it is very, very easy to reach any student anywhere in the world. It does not matter where your teacher is living and where your student is living. All that is required is a small internet connection. Nowadays with Photon or something, you can, take a data card, or you can take an internet card and use it anywhere. What this will do is it will stop migration for education, first of all. What is your cost? Your cost is, a laptop, a pen drive, a projector, and very minuscule cost compared to the cost of actually traveling, migrating, the trauma it causes in terms of language to people. अंग्रेजी नहीं आता तो यहाँ पे सबसे पहले तो हंसते हैं कि मैं बहुत बुरा हाल कर देते हैं. Say you are from Bihar or from anywhere. You have to have a particular accent in English. That is considered a sign of, a guy who is more sophisticated, which is stupidity. Which is, in my opinion, complete stupidity. But that is the kind of thing which has prevailed. Also, the other thing is that you are sitting here in a very nice room. And you are a filtered lot of students. But look at the number of people who are there, millions. So how many billions of bricks would you require to build more rooms to teach them in? Now who is going to build those bricks then? So, the brick-based, the classroom-based education model does not work in a place like India. Because by the time you build the classroom, the kids have grown up. Where the classrooms are going to happen 10 years later. And the problem is right now. So if you take the developments in multimedia and internet and Web 2, and now coming Web 3, it is possible to create an educational system which uses multimedia, which uses inputs from different disciplines, and mashes them up into a new kind of education system. If you take a mashup on the net, on YouTube, let's say, a mashup is what? You're taking a lot of different kinds of, it originally started with music and then came to music videos and now it's coming to education. You take different bits from different places, join them all up together, and a new picture emerges. You can do that with data, you can do that with music, you can do that with pictures, you can combine data and pictures, you can combine data and music. So these are new ways of getting information through to people. So why then should we go for the literacy model, which is a textbook model, the original 19th century model that we have. Padhna likhna seekho and then get the knowledge. So why not get the textbook out of the way and get the knowledge directly through? That is what I wanted to ask. That is basically what I want to say. I have a few pictures here which I want to show. One thing I'll observe, that although this is a technical conference, it's a conference of techies, I've been to a few before. Every time we have faced a problem of the internet connection or of getting the pen drive to work with whatever system is there. So, technology is never foolproof. It can actually be a great hindrance. That's all I want to say. Stuff is here. Let me just. Okay. Now you take something like this. This is Cool Iris. What Cool Iris does is it changes your browser in, like this, for example, normal desktop. It has too much of clutter in it. Okay. But now if you take a desktop which has this, so picture desktop. This is a cubist picture. The whole thing of cubism was to break up reality into different perspectives. But this picture gives you a kind of a story or an idea. Words would take much longer to do that. This kind of thing you can do, you can actually build a open source, this thing, flight simulator to think up, and with social networks not a big problem at all. Costs much less also. Some things I've been doing. This is an IMAX camera. One of the projects I worked on. This is the biggest format in the world. Now, this was a 40-minute film. It cost $9 million to produce. Very elitist technology. Because although it's the biggest screen in the world, what's the big deal about it? Why do you need it? So that's why nowadays I'm using a Handycam, which is about 10,000 rupees. Putting the pictures on the net, reaching much more range of people. So this, I don't know whether in India we need to have very expensive solutions to things, because original solutions have always been simple in India. Cheap and best, that is the Indian motto. And I think open source is very much about cheap and best. One of the questions I had in mind was, is it possible for you to hold a Kumbh Mela in Las Vegas? Global community of people. This is Facebook Developers Garage. More quickly, there is no confusion. If you are in Toronto, but I think that's just about it. Here you have Jharkhand network, one of the most underdeveloped places in India. They are the best network on link at the moment, in my opinion. Jharkhand network. Very active, very good. Okay, I think that's all I wanted to say. Anything further we can talk about, I guess, outside. Thank you.